Welcome back to United Vision. Tense, your trusted home for everything Manchester United. United are gearing up for a huge test away at Manchester City, and with several stars still under injury doubt, every session counts. Matheus Cunha, Mason Mount, and Diogo Dalot are being closely watched. They all picked up knocks in recent matches or in the international break, and while none have been ruled out totally, each will face late fitness tests. Despite the absences, Ruben Amorim ran a session designed to sharpen the edges. The fullbacks had to adapt. With Dalot maybe unavailable, backup defenders stepped in for overlapping runs, defensive shape, and wing recovery drills. The centre-backs, Maguire, Euro, and others, looked especially disciplined, practicing tight spacing, stepping out or dropping deep, depending on cues from midfield. The defenders seemed keyed in to compensate for the potential missing width. In midfield, there was a noticeable energy from the squad members available. Mount could only do partial training, but fellow midfielders were pushed hard in pressing drills, transitions, and recovering possession. Amorim emphasised the importance of midfield control to disrupt City's passing game, cutting passing lanes, double-teaming quickly, and staying compact in the middle. The first touch after turnover work got repeated several times, fast movement from ball loss into counter-attack pattern combinations. Up front, the attacking drills alternated between sharp finishing and exploiting space behind the City defence. Reds like Mbeumo, Cunha, if fit, and others worked through runs in behind, crossing scenarios and one-on-one finishing. Cunha was involved in lighter finishing drills, jogging into attacking positions and receiving service under less pressure. If he passes the late tests, he could be a secret weapon off the bench. To close, Amorim set up a high-intensity, small-sided game. With some internationals still away or being rested, younger or fringe players were mixed in. But the tempo was relentless. Every turnover punished, quick counters launched, defenders recovering fast, attackers not allowed time on the ball. The idea, simulate City's pressing and test how United respond when under pressure. As the session ended, there were two takes. First, fitness concerns still linger, especially around Cunha, Mount and Dalot. Second, the squad's attitude looked sharper than recent weeks. With bodies limited, those available are pushing doubly hard. United may not be at full strength, but the collective resolve seems stronger. That's the latest straight out of Carrington. Fitness worries remain, but Amorim's men are putting in the hard yards ahead of the derby. Do you think Cunha, Mount or Dalot will make it for City? And how much of a difference could their inclusion make? Drop your takes in the comments, and remember, hit subscribe to United Vision for more inside training updates, breaking news, and full derby coverage. Meanwhile, in previous news, the derby is almost here, and the Etihad awaits. But could United's squad get a massive boost just in time? Two key names could return this weekend, and the timing couldn't be any bigger. Stick with us, and don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss a Red Devils update. Manchester United could add two players to their strongest squad ahead of Man City clash. Man United return to Premier League action this Sunday when they travel across the city to face Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester United return to Premier League action this Sunday, aware that the stakes of this Manchester derby could not be higher for the two clubs contesting it. Both Manchester City and United have endured mixed starts to the season, and they are both in desperate need of a big positive result to lift their campaign. Arguably, the Reds have marginally less pressure on themselves than Pep Guardiola's men. United sit above City in the table, and they know that a draw, while not the triumphant bragging rights that supporters crave, would be a positive result away from home. However, there is every reason for Reds fans to feel confident they can pick up all 3 points. City find themselves with an injury crisis heading into the fixture, and United know that if Matheus Cunha, Mason Mount and Diogo Dalot's injuries have cleared up, they shall be able to field Ruben Amorim's first-choice team this weekend. What's more, United have two players who could be added to their strongest squad as soon as Sunday to boost their chances further. Defence may be one of the strongest areas of the pitch for United. The Reds are starting to look more comfortable in the three-at-the-back system, with their centre-halves suiting Amorim's vision. But add to that selection dilemma Lisandro Martinez, and suddenly it looks even stronger still. The Argentine has been out of action since February, and there are no definite signs that he will be fit to make the squad against City. However, he has been back on the grass at Carrington, and the hope is that he will not be too far off a return to the matchday squad. Were he be available for the derby, he would likely be among the substitutes at the Etihad Stadium, taking Aiden Heaven's place in the squad. While potentially harsh on Heaven, Martinez has proven time and again that he gets United and has the right mentality to represent the club. Just having his voice back in the dressing room would be a huge lift for the club and undoubtedly make United stronger. From one area that has been coping well to another which hasn't, the goalkeeping department. Andre Onana is set to depart for Trabzonspor, meaning his place will need to be taken in the squad. Fortunately, Senna Lamens was signed to replace the Cameroonian, and it will be interesting to see if he is thrown in at the deep end or not on Sunday. Altay Bayindir has been the first choice in the Premier League this season, but he has already made mistakes that have questioned his entitlement to start. Will Lamens be given the nod to start? Time will tell, but the Belgian could well be handed a place in his first matchday squad at United for the game, even if he starts on the bench. That's the latest from Old Trafford. 2 potential additions that could redefine United's chances in the derby. What do you think? Should Martinez be rushed back for such a huge game? And would you start Lamens ahead of Bayindir? Drop your thoughts in the comments and make sure you're subscribed to United Vision for more exclusive updates, reactions and inside stories. The derby is coming and we'll be right here with you every step of the way. Meanwhile, in other news, the buzz at Carrington is electric, with key players returning, Amorim's drills ramping up, and even a surprise boost on Matheus Cunha's recovery. Stick with me as we dive into today's training update. And before we get started, smash that subscribe button and join the family so you never miss a beat from Old Trafford. The buzz at Carrington crackled with readiness and quiet urgency. Despite several first-team stars being away on international duty, a core of returning players assembled in a compact, focused atmosphere. Those absent, from veterans like Bruno Fernandes and Dalot to internationals such as Onana and Ugarte, left gaps, but the squad that reported back brought a clear message. Manchester United are sharpening themselves for the road ahead. Leading the way were Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw and Lenny Yoro, defensive pillars whose return brings composure to the backline. Their presence was a palpable relief. Every measured touch from Maguire, every overlapping run from Shaw, and Yoro's youthful positional awareness reinforced that foundation. The goalkeeping unit looked stronger too. Altay Bayindir and Sen Lamens, both recovered, rejoined the drills, adding confidence between the sticks. In midfield, Mason Mount and Kobbie Mainoo joined in early exercises, though both remain edged by their recent fitness concerns. Amorim led pressing drills, demanding bite from the returning core, even as others stood in for the missing internationals. The group's intensity was a statement. This training pitch may be lighter in numbers, but not in purpose. Of course, the headline was Matheus Cunha. Withdrawn from squad due to a hamstring scare, he isn't at full tilt. But today, he pushed onto the field, beginning with light shuttle runs, loose touches, and progressive finishing work with a touch of sharpness surprising given the concern. His steady adjustments signal hope that his return isn't just weeks away. It could be right in time for the high-stakes run. As drills turned into a small-sided game, the energy shifted. Despite missing several internationals, the returning players combined with academy prospects to fill lines. Passes were crisp, movement synced, and creative patterns surfaced, Rashford and Garnacho darting into channels while the midfield box-to-box engine whirred with renewed vigour. By the final whistle, there was a marked change in the room. This wasn't just recovery, it was resurgence. Even as some players remain absent with their countries, the return of core defenders, goalkeepers, and Cunha's cautious re-entry have left Carrington feeling rearmed. United are far from full strength, but they're forging forward, refocused and ready. So United fans, how excited are you about these returns at Carrington? Maguire, Shaw, Yoro, Lamens, Bayindir, and especially Cunha, edging closer to full fitness. Do you think this group can power United into a strong run when the Premier League return? Drop your takes in the comments below, I'll be reading them all. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to United Vision. Until next time, glory, glory Man United. Meanwhile, in previous news, Fabrizio Romano has revealed why Ruben Amorim personally wanted Andre Onana out of the picture at Old Trafford, and the reasons make total sense. Before we dig into the full story of why Amorim was bang on with this call, don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you never miss a single update from United Vision. Manchester United's goalkeeper saga has taken another dramatic twist. With Senna Lammens arriving from Royal Antwerp, Andre Onana has been forced out of the Old Trafford picture and is on the verge of a loan move to Trabzonspor. On paper, it looks like a harsh demotion for a player who cost £47 million only 2 summers ago. But the full story shows exactly why Ruben Amorim was right to push for this decision. According to Fabrizio Romano, Amorim had 2 very clear reasons for showing Onana the door. First, he did not want unnecessary pressure placed on Lammens. At 23, the Belgian is expected to step into the number 1 role, but with Onana lurking on the bench, every mistake would have sparked a media circus. The headlines would have written themselves, "When will Onana be recalled? Should Onana get another chance?" Amorim saw that storm coming and decided to take it off the table. Second, Amorim wanted clarity. United were carrying 4 goalkeepers: Lammens, Onana, Altay Bayindir and Tom Heaton. An unhealthy situation for any squad, but particularly one where the spotlight burns brightest. By moving Onana out, Amorim simplifies the hierarchy and sends a message. Lammens is his man, no ifs or buts. It's also worth remembering how Amorim's patience with Onana ran thin over the summer. The Cameroonian returned from the break expecting a pay rise despite United's failure to qualify for the Champions League. A miscalculation that reportedly didn't sit well with management. To make matters worse, he injured his hamstring on the very first day of pre-season training, raising further questions about his focus and preparation. Now, Onana gets a fresh start in Turkey, and United avoid weeks of endless speculation. Amorim has taken control of the narrative, ensuring the focus stays on performances, not distractions. And he's absolutely right. History tells us that being Manchester United's goalkeeper is the most scrutinised job in English football. David De Gea, Peter Schmeichel, Edwin van der Sar. Their names are etched in history, but every mistake they made was magnified tenfold at Old Trafford. Lammens has just 1 season of Belgian top-flight experience under his belt, and Amorim knows the only way to give him a fair chance is to clear away the noise. With no European football and no League Cup rotation, the Belgian will have to grow fast under the spotlight. But if Amorim's bold decision pays off, this could be the beginning of a new era between the sticks at Old Trafford. So, United fans, was Amorim right to cut ties with Onana and clear the path for Senna Lammens? Or do you think Onana deserved another chance to fight for his spot? Drop your take in the comments. I'll be looking out for your thoughts. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe to United Vision, and turn on that bell for the latest from Old Trafford. Until next time, glory, glory Man United meanwhile. In previous news, Grimsby Town's shock Carabao Cup win over United is under serious scrutiny after fielding an ineligible player. Pundits are calling for Grimsby to be kicked out of the competition, and the verdict has fans fuming. Before we get into the details, smash that subscribe button and join the United Vision family so you never miss the latest from Old Trafford. Manchester United get new Carabao Cup verdict as calls to kick Grimsby out of competition intensify. Grimsby Town have been fined for fielding an ineligible player in their Carabao Cup second-round match with Manchester United, but they have not been barred from the competition. Jason Cundy has joined the growing list of pundits calling for Grimsby Town to be thrown out of the Carabao Cup following their use of an ineligible player in their remarkable victory over Manchester United. Although he believes the Red Devils shouldn't be handed a reprieve. Grimsby supporters celebrated what many consider the finest night in their club's recent memory, as they stunned the Premier League giants, eventually winning 12-11 on penalties after letting a 2-goal slip in 90 minutes. However, an administrative error involving Clark Oduor has cast a shadow over the Mariners' achievement. Instead of being kicked out of the competition, they have been handed a financial penalty and allowed to continue into the 3rd round, where they will face Sheffield Wednesday. Darren Bent has already voiced his opinion, that Grimsby should be eliminated from the tournament, maintaining that if Oduor contributed to ending United's campaign, appropriate punishment must be imposed. The former England forward commented, "You have to question Grimsby's place in the competition." Cundy has now taken a similar stance, maintaining that the rules must be upheld, though United shouldn't be offered another opportunity, with Sheffield Wednesday instead progressing directly. He told TalkSport, "First off, if you break the rules like that, I don't see how Grimsby can be in the competition. I genuinely don't." It sounds harsh, but if that had happened the other way round, would we say, "No, it's fine, £20,000 fine for Manut"? Are we now judging it by the club? They broke the rules. I'm sorry, you have to leave the competition. I don't think Man UTD should get in either, by the way. They got knocked out. What should happen now? Whoever they're facing, they should get a bye. Grimsby should not be in the competition. If there's a law, it should be the same for everyone. He added, "Sorry, this sounds very harsh, but there's laws and rules for a reason, and if you break those, the punishment has to be. We've just seen what happened with Crystal Palace. Oduor had arrived at Grimsby on loan from Bradford City the day before the match. The player made his debut after coming on as a substitute during the second half, though he would miss his spot kick in the penalty shootout, luckily without damaging his new side's prospects. It later emerged that his registration had been completed just 1 minute after the mandatory 12 p.m. deadline on August 26th. In an official statement, the EFL confirmed that Grimsby had voluntarily reported the error, whilst detailing the punishment for the League Two club, a ruling that hasn't received widespread approval. They announced, "The club has since implemented several actions to prevent a similar occurrence in the future. The club will be liable for the suspended sum of £10,000 if they were to again field an ineligible player in any league competition between now and the end of season 2025/26. So United fans, what do you think? Should Grimsby be thrown out of the Carabao Cup for breaking the rules, or is the fine punishment enough? And if they are removed, should United be reinstated, or should Sheffield Wednesday get the bye? Let me know your opinions in the comments. This is one debate that won't cool down anytime soon. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe to United Vision, and hit that bell so you're always first with the breaking United updates. Until next time, glory, glory Man United. Meanwhile, in previous news, Manchester United did make transfer proposal to midfielder, but Fabrizio Romano explains why it collapsed. Manchester United will be pleased with their summer transfer business, but many fans will argue Ineos were one midfielder shy from a perfect window. It is not only fans that feel that way either, as Ruben Amorim wanted an athletic midfielder signed this summer. Manchester United did inquire for Carlos Baleba, but Brighton wanted a £115 million fee and made it clear they don't plan on selling until 2026. During pre-season, Amorim spotted a lack of pace in midfield, and that is a weakness that has not been addressed over the summer. However, it was not for a lack of trying. It seems United did make a move for a midfielder on deadline day. Manchester United's loan proposal to Conor Gallagher was rejected. United in Focus spoke exclusively to transfer expert Graham Bailey on deadline day, and he revealed that United inquired about Conor Gallagher during the final days of the transfer window. The Red Devils ended up wrapping up their summer by completing an £18 million deal for Senna Lamens, and no midfielder ended up arriving. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that United made a loan proposal to Gallagher, and explained that Atletico Madrid made it clear they have no plans to let the English midfielder leave. Romano explained that Premier League side Crystal Palace also made an inquiry and received the same answer, so United were left empty-handed in their midfield search. Ruben Amorim will have to cope with midfield until 2026. So far this season, Amorim has preferred a midfield combination of Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, hardly a duo that will calm his concerns over a lack of pace. Kobbie Mainoo's request to leave was rejected, with Amorim telling the 20-year-old Carrington graduate that he must fight for his spot. The Portuguese head coach must find a way to give him more minutes this season. The only other natural midfield option available to Amorim is Manuel Ugarte, but he has suffered a slow start to the season. Amorim has suggested that Mount can play in central midfield, but it already feels inevitable that a new midfielder will be a top priority in 2026. United are willing to wait until 2026 for Baleba, and a long-term replacement for Casemiro will be needed, given his contract is due to expire next summer. So, United fans, there you have it. Fabrizio Romano confirming the loan proposal for Conor Gallagher and why it fell through, leaving us one midfielder short this summer. Do you think Gallagher would have been the right signing? Or should United keep their powder dry for Carlos Baleba in 2026? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this update, drop a like and make sure to subscribe to United Vision for all the latest news straight from Old Trafford. Until next time.